Welcome to Module 2, Part 2, Planning for Pre-Primary, an overview of the planning features and principles. This section of Module 2 will introduce you to the education sector planning process, providing an overview of the main components and principles for planning for pre-primary within the more general ESP process. In general, strategic planning is about identifying which steps to take and how to manage resources in order to reach a desired outcome. In the case of education, it involves determining what the overall vision and goals for the country's education system are and how to get there. You can think of strategic planning as trying to answer 4 key questions. Each of these questions corresponds to one of the main phases of the education sector planning process, and each can be considered from the perspective of ECE pre-primary education. Where do we stand today, i.e., the education sector analysis? Then, where would we like to be in the future? Selecting policy priorities and strategies. How do we get there? Defining precise objectives, targets, and costing. And finally, how do we know if we're moving in the right direction? The monitoring and evaluation framework. An ESP can be referred to by many different names, such as a National Education Strategy or Education Development Sector Plan, etc. In short, an ESP is the National Strategic Planning document that lays out a roadmap for a country's education sector, based on a robust analysis of the current situation, usually for a period of 5 to 10 years. The process for developing an ESP is intended to be participatory and political, involving diverse political and technical actors, including departments within the Ministry of Education, subnational educational units, related ministries, NGOs, and private sector stakeholders. The plan preparation process usually takes from about 8 to 18 months, but can vary depending on the country's context. A strong and credible ESP will follow several key characteristics. It will be guided by an overall vision. It will be strategic, identifying specific strategies. Holistic, covering all subsectors. Evidence-based, founded on a robust sector analysis. Achievable, with an analysis on how to overcome any constraints. Sensitive to the context, analyzing specific vulnerabilities of the context. It will pay attention to disparities, responding to particular needs of different groups. And finally, it will be coherent, with linkages between goals, objectives, targets, and activities. The process for developing an education sector plan must be participatory, involving diverse stakeholders, be well organized, with coordination and clear structures of roles and responsibilities. The following structure can be particularly useful to ensure the proper organization. An overseeing joint steering committee to guide the plan preparation process. A planning coordination committee that coordinates the technical work of the ESP drafting, and technical working groups that draft specific sections of the plan. Finally, it should be a capacity development process as an opportunity for the ministry to strengthen internal capacities.